So when I look at this system, I do not see that either of my x's have the same coefficient, nor do my y's. Do you guys see that? You don't have the same coefficients like we did yesterday. However, I do know that I can multiply, just like we did yesterday where we multiplied an equation by -1 to change the sign. I can multiply one of my equations by something to make it have the opposite of the x term. So here's what I want you to think about. For the first equation, I have 6x. So I want you to look at the second equation. What is something that you could multiply every single term by? Yep. -3. So I'm not going to do anything with the first equation. I'm just going to rewrite it. 6x plus 5y equals 19. But for the second equation, I'm going to multiply everything by -3. So 2x times -3 is -6x. 3y times -3 is -9y. And 3y times, 5 times -3 is -15. And now I'm going to do the same thing that we did yesterday.
How did you know multiply -3?
Okay, so I know that 6 divided by 2 is 3. So if I multiply by 3, I'm going to get 6. And I want it to be the opposite. Okay, what's your other thing?
Did you start recording?
I did. Thank you, ma'am. So when I add these two together, this is what's canceling out. Do you guys see that? So a +5 and a -9 give me a -4y. 19 minus 15 is 4. I'm going to divide both sides by -4. So y equals -1. Now, when I plug that -1 back into either equation, remember, you always want to plug it into one of your originals, not one of the equations that you manipulated by multiplying everything by a number or whatever. So I'm just going to plug that y equals -1 right into this top equation. So 6x plus 5 times -1 equals 19. 5 times -1 is -5 equals 19. How do I get 6x all by itself? Plus 5 on both sides. You guys are awesome at that. Thank you. So 6x equals 24. Divide both sides by 6. And I find out that x equals what? 4. So my solution is the ordered pair 4, -1. Does that make sense? Okay. We're not going to solve number 2. We're going to solve number 3, but let's look at number 2 and just determine what could we multiply one of those equations by to be able to cancel out. We could multiply the bottom by -3. Okay. Does everybody see that? If I multiplied the bottom by -3, this whole equation right here would turn into -6x minus 9y equals 15. We're not going to solve it. I just want you to be able to identify. What about number 3? What do you want to do here? Multiply the top by what? Multiply the top by -2. What do you guys think about that? Multiplying the top by -2 is going to do what for me, Dakota? Cancel out my what? Good job. So let's do that. Multiply the top by -2. So 2x times -2 is -4x. 5y times -2 is -10y. 3 times -2 is -6. I'm not changing the bottom equation. 3x plus 10y equals -3. When I add these together, my y's are going to cancel out. A negative 4x and a positive 3x give me a negative 1x. Negative 6 and negative 3 give me negative 9. How do I solve that? By, yeah, divide both sides by negative 1. So x equals 9. I'm going to plug that back into the top equation. 2 times 9, because that's what x is, plus 5y equals 3. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 5y equals 3. I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. And I find out that 5y equals negative 15, which means that y equals what? Negative 3. So my solution is the ordered pair 9, negative 3. Skip the word problems and go to page 24, please. I'm just going to go right to page 24. So how does this system look different than what we've been doing? The variable terms are in different places. Remember, we learned this. We learned this form. It's called standard form. And I said that word yesterday. Standard form. And it's written like this. AX plus BY equals C. So we really always want something X plus or minus something Y equals a constant, like the first equation is written. So look at the second equation, and how could I change this to put it in standard form? How could I have the X term on the other side? Like I need it to say something X plus or minus something Y. From both sides, right? So when I do that, I have negative 3x plus 2y equals negative 9. So now both of my equations are in standard form. And I'm going to take this top equation right here. I'm going to put it right below the equation we just simplified. So that way we can see what we want to multiply by. So, well, I know that the x is negative on the top and the bottom x is positive. So if I could pick a number that I could multiply both 3 and 4 by, or I could multiply the y's each by something. But with this example, we're going to have to multiply both equations by something. So do you want to eliminate the x's or the y's? Make a choice. X's. Okay. So what is a number that I could, what is something that 3 and 4 both go into? 12. So how that works is I'm going to multiply the top by 4 and the bottom by 3, because 4 times negative 3 will give me negative 12. 3 times positive 4 will give me positive 12. So do you see that I multiply the top by the leading coefficient of the bottom and the bottom by the leading coefficient of the top? It's kind of how that works. So I'm going to multiply everything in the top by 4. So negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. So I have negative 12x. 2y times 4 is a positive 8y. Negative 9 times 4 is negative 36. And then my denominator, or not the denominator, sorry, the bottom equation, 3 times 4x is 12x. 3 times 5 is 15y. 3 times 35 is 105. Okay, so we're eliminating our x's. We're going to add these two together. What happens? Okay, so now what do I have when I add those two equations together? Okay, what is it? What is my total y's? How many y's do I have? 23y, good job, equals Okay. Divide both sides by 23. And I found out that y equals 3. Where am I going to put that y equals 3? Yeah, back into one of those original equations. So I'm going to put it right here in that first one. 4x plus 5 times 3 equals 35. So make sure that you always put it back into one of the originals, not an equation that you manipulated. So 4x plus 15 equals 35. I am going to subtract 15 from both sides. 4x equals 20. Divide by 4. X equals 5. So my solution is 5, 3. Okay. I'm not going to do any more like that because you don't have any of those in your homework. I made sure that your homework had them already written in standard form. But let's do 4, 5, and 6. So go to the next page. Number 4. So from now on, pretty much the last 3 examples, you're going to have to multiply both the top and the bottom equation by something. So here's what I want you to think about. If I multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by 4 or negative 4, what am I going to get rid of? Yeah. If I multiply this top one by 5 and this one by negative 4, I would end up with 20x and negative 20x. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
But I could also multiply, you get to choose, right? So I could also multiply the top by 2 and the bottom by negative 3, and that would eliminate the y's. Okay? So you get to choose what you want to eliminate. I try to always eliminate the x's. I don't know why, that's just how I was taught. Like always get rid of the leading terms, but you guys get to choose what you want to get rid of. So do you want to get rid of the x's or the y's? X's, okay. So we're going to multiply, we said the top by 5 and the bottom by negative 4. And remember, we're multiplying every term. Gavin, are you taking notes or are you taking a nap? Okay. So 5 times 4x is 20x. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15y. And 5 times 8 is 40. On to the second equation. Negative 4 times 5x is negative 20x. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. Negative 4 times negative 11 is positive 44. So what am I left with? I'm going to add these 2 equations together. I know that these cancel out. So what do I have left? Negative 7y. Keep going. You're doing great. Equals 84. What do you want to do next, Gavin H? So y equals? Perfect. So I'm going to, y equals negative 12. So I'm going to take that y equals negative 12 and I'm going to put it back into my top equation. 4x minus 3 times negative 12 equals 8. 4x. Let's see, negative 3 times negative 12 is positive 36 equals 8. Subtract 36 from both sides. 4x equals negative 28. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So my solution is negative 7, negative 12. Okay, who's going to do number 5? Ma'am?
I'm confused.
What are you confused on?
Where it's like 5 and negative 4, you just swap them?
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's a good question. If you want to get rid of the x's, you're going to multiply the top equation by whatever the bottom coefficient is, and the bottom equation by whatever the top is. But you need to make one of them an opposite. When they don't match, you're going to have to do that. That's how you get rid of them. Since
Matter which one you make a negative, or can you just choose?
you can choose. We could have made the 5 a negative. It doesn't matter. Gavin, you want to do number 4 or number 5, I mean? Yeah, going up there. You can.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I might struggle.
Just wait till he's done and then I'll slide over, okay? Let me shrink it up a little bit. There you go. So Gavin, are you thinking about getting rid of the X's or the Y's? Perfect. Thank you. Good job. That's perfect. Call on your classmates to be your calculator bunny. That's what I would do. Heck yeah. Okay. You want to just do them? Oh, I have left. What is 2 times 9? Top X, top X, top X.
That's on me.
You've got an 18.
That's on me.
Perfect. Good job.
I got it.
Gavin, pick your head up. What, honey? Yeah, I'm walking over. You're welcome. Thank you for saying thank you. No, thank you. Sorry, it's all I've left.
Yeah, is that 27Y?
So, yeah, it's a good question.
Thank you.
This is perfect.
Will these be sort of something?
Yeah,
Like everything by
No, I couldn't read it.
Ever heard of it?
5.
Is that 36
Right,
again?
Yes.
It is.
That's on me. I messed up.
It's 16. Should be 16. Oh, no, that's a 9. You're right. It's a positive 36. Very good. You just messed up. You gotta multiply every term.
On the top and the bottom?
44.
I was doing it.
I know you were. But I said use us as your calculator, mommy. You're welcome. Sure. That's all I have left. Sorry.
Why do you?
Y equals 4. I agree. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I do. We glitter painted it. No, just go wash your hand up. Do you want me to give you a Band-Aid now or are you gonna come back
when
with it? Perfect. All right, that's great. Excellent job.
It's 4, 4.
4 comma 4 is your solution. All right, Kate, you go up and do number 6.